Football with friends. It's fun as hell. My name is Alex Dunlap here with Cody Carpentier on a big Friday, a Final Takes Friday, a little bit of a scheduling snafu Friday. Friday supposed to get started at 5. That got pushed back to 5:30, back to 5:35. But we are here today. So happy to be here with you guys and pumped to be here talking about. We can finally talk a little bit about the Super Bowl, Cody, but we always like to lead with Longhorn stuff. And we came on yesterday before we were able to kind of take in everything with the War Room. Anwar today was able to address his report on his show this morning. So I figure we're cool to talk about it now and put some of those names out. And so, listen, you guys know the rules about Final Takes. We'll put up a poll, and the winner of Final Takes will be the king of Final Takes for the week. It's whoever has the best takes on these between Cody and I will be the winner. It's going to be up to you guys, though, to decide. And I figure let's just start out with it. Let's rank the four candidates Anwar mentioned as being focuses for the new safeties coach. I want you to put those guys in order in the way that you would take them. And for those who don't know, the four that Anwar mentioned that his sources have told him that that basically one of the interesting things that I just thought, based on Anwar's reporting, first of all, two of the guys that Cody and I were surmising, Dwayne Aquina and Jimmy Lake, were two of them. And then also, Sark wants to move fast on this and get it done by this weekend. So I think we're going to be probably hearing something pretty soon here. The four guys that Anwar mentioned in his report was of players that Sark intends to contact, not listing them in order. Dwayne Aquina, the Arizona DB's coach we talked about yesterday. Mike Mickens, the Notre Dame DB's coach. Corey Sanders, who's Pitt's assistant head coach for secondary and safeties, and then Jimmy Lake, former Washington coach and Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator. Also spent some time with the Rams. So, Cody, if you had an order to put those in, what would you put it in?
I'll go Jimmy Lake first. I'll go Dwayne Aquina second. I'll go Mike Mickens from Notre Dame third. Curveball, I'll go Doug Belk from USC fourth, and then I'll put Corey Sanders from Pitt in at fifth.
Yeah, I mean, I think Belk's. I think Belk will be somebody that he contacts that Anwar's guy just didn't mention. It makes too much sense for the reasons that we talked about yesterday. Do you want, for anybody that didn't watch yesterday, do you want to tell them about Belk's background?
Belk is currently the DB coach at USC, but he's from Georgia. Played at Valdosta or coached at Valdosta State. Played at Carson Newman. He's got attachments in recruiting in California and in Georgia, which obviously Texas is making a point to recruit Georgia pretty hard right now, and they've had a history of going to California. So he's got good connections in recruiting, as well as coaching there. He was also the DC and assistant head coach at Houston for 3 or 4 years, from 2020, actually from 2019 to 2023.
And I think the California and the Georgia connections are like super. I think that everything makes, especially, man, you probably want to. I think you want to get out of USC, right?
I want to
think
get out there before Lincoln gets canned.
Yeah, so I do like that. My order is kind of different from yours, Cody. Whenever I looked more and more into Mike Mickens, I mean, dude, I was impressed by Notre Dame's. I was impressed by Notre Dame just in general, right? I thought that they had a good defense, and I think that guy's done a good job. And I don't really see why he would go from being a DB's coach to a safeties coach. I think that he could make more money at Texas. But we talked about the upward mobility out of Texas. I wonder if that same upward mobility issue or there's thought that maybe he would want to get away from Marcus Freeman because people would, kind of put his own stamp on something. I don't know if you do that, though, as just taking a lateral move to Texas that has two co-defensive coordinators already. But it's like whenever you hear about the way that they talk about the guy and the way that that people think that he's just like really really relates well to players and stuff like that. The one problem though is that as Ketchum mentioned in doing some feedback, he his coaching career began in 2011, and all of his coaching has been in Ohio and Indiana.
Mhm.
So that's a little. Or wait, no, he did have 1 year in Idaho, which doesn't matter at all to Texas. Beautiful state, but doesn't matter at all to Texas as far as recruiting routes. As I talk through it, I don't. I think I was thinking maybe I would put him at the top, but I maybe not. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. I think our two guys that we liked the best yesterday, Lake and Akina, I think would be my top two. And then Mickens. And then the whole thing about Sanders, I'm not really sure that I understand what it is. What is it? I guess I don't. I do you have any thoughts about that? I don't know what Pitt like. I don't watch. I haven't watched much Pitt. I don't really know. I guess he's probably considered some kind of up and comer.
I don't really know a lot about him. So yeah, I don't really have like an opinion, I guess I should say, on him. Um
I mean, he's been at West Florida and Western Michigan and Pitt.
yeah. So
So yeah,
I
I
don't
think
even I don't know anything about him other than that.
yeah.
So
All right.
that's kind of why I put him last, even below the USC guy.
That's how we're gonna go ahead and rank. Go ahead and rank those. Did we rank them in the same order? Do you like Belk better than Notre Dame?
No, I think I
Mickens?
put Mickens and then Belk.
Okay. Final takes. Final takes. What do we have here? Is Texas really going to lose Chris Stewart to TC? Oh, I wrote TCU. That should say.
SMU.
Let me edit this. Is is Texas really going to lose him to SMU?
I think so. Looks like it. I mean, it looks like he's pretty
But we've
dialed in.
talked about this. We've said where is SMU as a threat? Dude, from Jason's report in the war room, though, it feels like Texas might be going a little bit kind of quiet on him.
Yeah. I mean, look at the class they just had. So he committed last July. We were eating dinner in Jackson with the Rivals 5-star. So that was pre French, Lockett, McCutcheon. That was pre all of that when he committed. And respectfully, I don't think he's on the same level. So I think that there's maybe a sense from the coaching staff where they're like, we could probably, you know, probably we could probably lose him. Wouldn't hurt. Like, I'm not saying that they don't not want him, but it's like they're probably sitting there like probably at the top of our needs. So, if we didn't text him back, would that hurt? I don't know.
The the other here's the other thing too is I was looking at this earlier. So he's got a twin brother, Carter Stewart,
Yeah, and that's
and
the big draw for him.
yeah, and so SMU is recruiting both him and his brother pretty hard. And I went and looked at all their offers and stuff like that. Let me just say this: a lot of Carter Stewart's offers, outside of like stuff like Sacramento State, I noticed Michigan State was one that he had that Chris Stewart didn't have. UTEP was one that he had that Chris Stewart didn't have. But all like Oklahoma and SMU and gosh, I could pull it up and see. There are a number of ones that look like a little bit bigger time ones where it's obvious that Carter Stewart, who plays safety for is it Shadow Creek,
Shadow
where
Creek,
Chris,
yeah.
yeah, who plays safety for Shadow Creek. On Rivals, he doesn't have a star designation that I could find.
Yep.
So not as high, not as highly regarded as a player, and they want to come together as a package deal. And if you take I think if you just take what you just said and add on the fact that he's maybe pushing for his bro to come at a at safety. I mean, I'm not. I mean, I guess Texas could kind of. Could they use it? Could they use a safety? I'm not really sure. They have some kind of good ones, kind of in the pipe, right? So uh, that could. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like, man, it's like if we're already having this thing where we have where we have French and where we have, the whole class with McCutcheon and Khalil Lockett and Michael Terry and Ryan Wingo's coming back and all the rest of this stuff. Maybe at safety. So I just wanted to make sure I wasn't forgetting. Oh, dude. And I didn't even mention, or whenever I was thinking in my head, I just totally forgot about Xavier Filsaime.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking about Jonah Williams and Zealous Hicks, but there's still Filsaime, Jordan Johnson Rubel, who might be moving to nickel, but still technically there. You have Taft for one more year. Derek Williams, Jelani McDonald. I would think that Derek Williams probably was a guy who maybe, if he would have got hurt this last year, could have been somebody that might have left after 2025. I don't see that happening now. He'll still be around for 2026, but this younger group, right? Filsaime, Jonah Williams, Zealous Hicks. That's a good group. I'm not sure you need to take an unranked player just to get Chris Stewart. I'm not sure that I consider this SMU coming in and sniping Texas.
No. Also, when you take into account that, like, we know Texas has interest in Caden Dixon-Wyatt, who's the number 5 wide receiver in the country from Mater Dei, Jordan Clay from Madison and San Antonio, Naheem Burrows from Bulls in Florida. These are all top 10 guys. Caden Finley's 10th overall in the country. That's 4 receivers in the top 10 that Texas knowingly has interest in, and they have interest in Texas. So it's like, when you look at the receiver position too, it's like, are you going to sweat over some kid trying to hold you hostage that's ranked 25th in the country at the wide receiver position? I think he's good. I don't know if he's good enough for that. I don't know if he's, shouldn't say I don't know. He's not Marvin Harrison Jr. He's not, Chris Henry. He's not Booby Feaster. Like, I'm not gonna be held hostage because, you want to play with your brother. Sorry.
Yeah, but SMU's like, come on, bring it. We want both you guys.
Yeah, because I mean, they get it, but they also SMU, like, we understand this though. SMU's in a much different spot than Texas is. Texas is in a spot where they can say, "You're not going to hold me hostage." SMU's like, we want as many 4 stars as we can get.
They're not gonna offer his twin brother. It's just that's not gonna happen. Let me ask you this. Did you read the Yahoo report from Ross Dellinger yesterday about the new proposed enforcement apparatus for NIL in college football?
No, I did not.
Do you know what it is?
No, I did not read it.
Okay, so basically, I should pull it up. Yahoo. I was just reading it. So it's for anybody that hasn't read this. It's called. You can just type in monumental shift. Power conferences, not NCAA, to control policing athlete compensation. And so, what this is, Cody, tell me if you think this is going to be something that's important. Okay, as I'm trying to shut down all these auto videos that pop up on any article you click on Yahoo.
Some Walter football stuff.
Yeah. Walter football. What a weird shout out to those guys.
That site is like, you go on there nowadays and it's just like ad, video. It's like going on to a naughty site.
Onmore likes those guys. He would have he has the he's like
Walter football.
He used to have those Walter football guys on to talk draft. I was like, Onmore, those guys stink, man. If you want to talk draft, you can just have me on, dude. But so basically, what they're doing now is there's going to be a new entity, and this all comes out of the House settlement stuff that's going to be coming back online and back on the radar in March, where I believe starting on July 1st, teams are going to be able to pay out like the 20 million bucks, right, to the players as part of the revenue sharing, right? Now, what they're saying is there is going to be autonomy from the NCAA from within the 4 biggest power conferences, right? And in doing so, they're going to have an enforcement arm that is different from the the NCAA that would have these, like he says, the NCAA control process of lengthy investigations, controversial enforcement decisions, and with some to be unnecessary committee hearings. Basically, all the bureaucratic stuff that comes along with the worthless NCAA and the unelected bureaucrats there that are the ones that control so much of what happens, or have control so much of what happens in college football. So basically, there's a transition team that has been gathering in Washington, and what they've come up with is that Deloitte, which is, what Deloitte is, right? It's like a consulting. You know what Deloitte is? It's like a big financial firm. I don't really know exactly what they do, but I think that they do audits and underwriting and financial stuff, and um, maybe somebody in the chat can let us know. I think they do like actuarial stuff. They're like analysts, right? And so what what they're going to be doing is they're going to say, okay, here's the gist of it. You now get 20 to 21 million dollars, and you pay that out to your team. And how you're going to pay that out to your team, the structure by which you're going to be doing it is going to be up to you, right? You're going to have to manage your salary cap. But the way I'm reading it is saying they're going to have an NIL clearinghouse, which is charged with determining fair market value of income earned by athletes outside of the school, i.e., name, image, and likeness deals. Deals affiliated with the booster group, or any entity deemed to be associated with the school are the only ones subject to the clearinghouse's more rigorous fair market value standard. Okay, so what they're going to be doing is they're going to be having a separate LLC that's going to employ a CEO and a head investigator and maybe a small team of people who they're going to be the ultimate decision makers on whether teams have whether the NIL money on top of this new salary cap, the revenue sharing money, the NIL that players get, whether it is fair market value, whether it is whether you're overpaying them is basically what it is. You're not going to be able to go to a booster and say, all right, we're giving them the whatever the cut from the revenue sharing, but on top of it, like, hey, booster, we need to give, like Portnoy did with the quarterback at Michigan, right? They're going to say, well, is that fair market value for his NIL? Because we look at, say, for Arch Manning, they're not going to be able to come and say anything about his deal with Red Bull because that's something that happened in a wide open marketplace, right? That's obviously a fair market deal because Red Bull's not doing anything to try and help the Texas Longhorns in any real way. What they're trying to do is they want the use of Arch Manning's name, image, and likeness to sell their product, right? And so whatever that market value is going to be fair market value. Those aren't the things that are going to be audited by this group. What's going to be audited by this group are NIL things where it's like, some booster with a car dealership gives some kid $2 million on top of all the rest of it. You say, all right, well, what is it like? What are people making out there in the actual free fair market? And say Arch Manning's making 2.5 million from Red Bull. Like they look at the distribution from that and they'll say, well, he's getting out to this many eyeballs and that's for 2.5 million and all this. You can't give this guy $2 million to come to your car dealership and sign autographs. What do you think of that setup? I think it's great.
Yeah, I think it's somebody filling in the gaps, and the gaps meaning like a Grand Canyon, and that's kind of what we're dealing with right now.
Well, and so, but JD is saying fair market value. You're worth whatever somebody was willing to pay you, and I
But you have to
totally
find
get
the
it. Right?
base, though. Where's the base?
On the open market, right? We're not like I'm saying like Arch Manning. If they want to give Arch Manning $50 million, of course. You can't say anything about that. That's somebody wanting to use his name, image, and likeness, and paying him to do it, and him accepting the money to do it, right? What I think this is going after this stuff because if you read the article from Dellinger, and I would tell you guys to go read it, it's like deals affiliated with a booster group, or any entity deemed to be associated with the school are the only ones subject to the clearinghouse's more rigorous fair market value standard. So the fair market value is going to be set by the open market, right? But then they're going to say, all right, this booster is giving you that. It's like, you can't do it because Quinn Ewers gets paid $2.3 million for the Dr. Pepper commercial that is seen on broadcasts across all these different entities. It's going to be this many eyeballs, all of that stuff like that. They'll begin to establish a market value. Maybe they'll do it by position. Maybe not. I don't really know. I don't know if they would do. I guess position would be meaningless, right? You're just talking about every individual's name, image, and likeness. It'd probably just be about distribution of the message. I don't know. I talk so much about how NIL is just so weird because we say what is it, and I can't stand most regulation. I'm generally just like JD. I'm like, you're worth whatever somebody's willing to pay you. I totally get it, but I think in the spirit of fairness between like the haves and the have-nots in college football, that like I think that this is I think it's good. I think that it's good. I think that and I also think anything that's going to help to dismantle the NCAA and
Yep.
send that whole thing completely to the dustbin and do something more efficient in the private sector is just a whole lot better.
That's all that matters to me.
Almost always is.
That's all that matters to me. This helps create. I mean, it is interesting / a cool place to be right now for like everybody in the space to digest and understand that we are literally at like not even the doorstep. We're like at the first page. We're like the first page has been written in this book. Whereas, like, if you look at the NFL and their salary cap and the CBA is like on the third, fourth, fifth chapter, like 75 pages deep in their book. And like you can see not the NCAA, college football is very much just like the first page is done. All right, let's turn it on to page 2.
Yeah.
And now we got fair market. Okay. How are we going to figure out from here? And then we're going to build this salary cap. We're going to build it. It's like, it's so new in this landscape, but it's also interesting to look at it and see the NFL and then see this and compare it and contrast it and see what the future could be and see where it's at. It's just like, I think it's fascinating.
Yeah, I think I think it's a good step. And do you know what else I think? I think the guys who are the guys that have been in college for maybe like the last couple, just like in the Texas terms, like the Colin Simmonses and the Anthony Hills and the Arch Mannings and guys like this. These guys, I think they fell in like the Goldilocks, like the perfect, like when it was totally unregulated and you can get whatever you like. I think the people before them got super swindled, and then the floodgates opened, and those guys get, I think that after this, it's gonna, dude, they're still gonna make a ton of money now. They're still, I mean, what, 20 million, 21 million they're gonna have to pay out a roster. These guys are gonna make a ton of cash, but I think that they're the dudes like right now, the guys like right now for these last like 2 or 3 years when it's been just a complete Wild West. I think that those dudes are just making out like bandits compared to any other era.
Which is like that decade, or was it even quite a decade, where if you were like a top 5 NFL draft pick, you got like that guaranteed, like Cam Newton?
You got the Sam Bradford.
Yeah. That's why Sam Bradford was always like so rich. It was like because he was the first overall pick in those years where he was guaranteed cash, mega. It was just that's kind of where like Bryce Underwood and Arch and Colin Simmons, Jeremiah Smith are sitting right now.
Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams and stuff. Those guys are, those guys. Colin Simmons is the same way. It's just so crazy, man. All right, but anyway, I put the link to the Ross Dellinger article in there. I was reading it this morning. I didn't see it yesterday. Thought it was super interesting. All right, let's see about this next one. Final takes, Cody. Final takes. All right, Jason reported that Javion Osborne now trending towards Texas after originally sort of trending toward Michigan. Would he be the starter week 1, 2026 if he came to Austin? He would be going up against by then. So you'd think that Trey Wisner, he'll be a junior this year.
That's the problem, is that I think Wisner probably is gone, but I think that Baxter
Is Wisner really a candidate to be gone after this next season? He'd have to be a lot better than he was to leave early. Do you think the NFL is just foaming at the mouth to get Trey Wisner on their teams?
Probably not.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I love Osborne, but there's just too much there. There's too much there to just say right now he'd be starting week 1. I mean, you're talking about a senior Wisner, a junior in Baxter. Gibson's going to be a junior. Whatever Christian Clark becomes, whatever Simon.
Baxter. Oh, because Baxter's in a red shirt.
Yeah.
Okay, because of the medical.
Yeah, I can't go that far. 2027? Yeah, sure.
I don't know, man. Dude, I think that Javion Osborne has better film than any of those guys did coming out.
Yeah, I agree 100%, but that has nothing to do with it. I don't think you're going to start him week 1 over,
he started CJ Baxter over Jay Brooks.
Yeah, but Jay Brooks wasn't established like that.
Or I mean, do you think by then any of those guys will be that established? We're going to have Christian Clark with a major injury. Baxter's coming off a major injury.
Wisner and Baxter already established.
One of the main issues with Texas throughout this season is they couldn't get the run game going at the key points in all these games.
Yeah, but who was the one guy that could? It was Wisner.
Well, versus A&M.
He had more than one good game.
I understand, but it kind of folded up in some of the big ones.
Okay, but
Georgia stuff.
Baxter a year ago looked good.
Baxter looked fine.
Everybody just like writing Baxter off. Now, I'm not aiming that at you. I'm just saying, like, I saw that a lot on the board this year was like, well, would Baxter really be able to do much more? It's like, is he just a loaf of bread now? Like,
no, but he's coming off an ACL, and or was it just
the other running backs every single year at the Division I and NFL level?
Yeah. I mean, I think he could have really used this year. I think he could have been helpful this year for sure.
I'll take.
I think he could have used the year, man. I think he could have used the year for his vision and his patience and stuff like that.
I'll go 2027. Y'all can vote for me as well because I'm right. 2027 is the answer.
Javion Osborne, I think 2026, dude, right out of the gate, right out the gate, freshman sensation. Vote for Alex. Vote for the one that wants something exciting to happen around here.
Vote for the one that piss off the whole running back room.
Jose Rodriguez with a super chat. Thank you so much, brother. We certainly appreciate that. 199. What food or snacks do y'all prefer for your Super Bowl watch? And I promise you, I promise you, I'm going to get to it. But dude, you just taught. This was a toss up here. Of course, it's Texas Beef Traders beef jerky. I mean, this beef jerky is it's football with friends beef jerky. It's tasty as hell. We got the jalapeno garlic. Cody, can you put the link in the chat again?
Yes, ma'am.
I still haven't been able to find that cockamamie link on this wiped system. We have jalapeno garlic. We have the cowboy blend. We have hot honey, and we have smoked garlic. Now, if you order now, they won't be there in time for the Super Bowl. I guarantee you that Darren will not get them there that quick. But you can have them afterwards, and that would be the best snack that you could possibly have. And of course, Texas Beef Traders is just the best place that you could go. Like, what you can do is go into Texas Beef Traders this weekend and just get some beef for the big game. If you're making hamburgers, man, go up there and just get some of their hamburger meat. Get some of their, if you want to, get the Wagyu burgers. You want something that's going to wow people. Say, dude, these are Wagyu burgers. 2,500-year-old herd, certified. A certified 2,500-year-old herd. Have you heard about all these, Cody? I'm not sure if you've heard. Have you heard of all the places in Texas that recently got Michelin stars?
Yes, I did.
One of them uses their Wagyu exclusively and markets it as being a 2,500-year herd, dude. That's before JC. How's that even possible? So, yeah, man. You guys got to check out Texas Beef Traders. Remember, you get 10% off when you mention you heard them on Football with Friends. And this would be a great weekend just to go in on Saturday, drink some beer with Darren, hang out. You want wine? Heck, it's a winery. He'll give you a charcuterie platter. Just go in there. I promise you, it's gonna be a great time. Just say, dude, Alex said that you're gonna set me up. Okay. And if you can't make it into Texas Beef Traders and you want the meat at your house, you still want 10% off, just call Darren. He'll just bring it to your house if you live in the Austin area. But the beef jerky goes to all 48 states. All right. So, but back to the question. Besides the football or friends beef jerky, do you have a favorite snack?
My go-to every single year since I had a Super Bowl party the first time, which would have been 5th grade, 6th grade. I think it was like Cardinals Steelers, the San Antonio Holmes touchdown. What is barbecue weenies? I go by my wife hates them. The barbecue weenies, and then I have
the little what are those called? The little Franks or something? What are those things called?
I don't know. I call them little weenies. The little weenies and meatballs, and you put it in a crock pot. And then my grandma has a homemade barbecue recipe, and you make a gallon of it. You pour it in the crock pot, and you got meatballs and weenies, and that's just you get yourself a toothpick, and you're snacking the whole game.
I
feel like hell afterwards, but
I can't say I hate it because I kind of like those. I kind of like those little things too. But that's not the best Super Bowl snack.
I never said it was the best. He said, "What food or snacks do y'all prefer?" I just said, "I prefer that because I've been doing it for 15 years."
That's the answer. Is little Smokies is what those things are called.
There you go.
No, dude. I mean the best is
let
easy.
Let me guess. Chalk Alex is gonna go. The best is nachos and cheese.
Close. Queso. Queso. But do you know what? I think that the best queso is where you have like the queso, and then go to Texas Beef Traders, get some cook up some of their beef with like taco seasoning, make it like taco meat. Take that, put it inside the queso, put guacamole inside of the queso.
What?
Yeah, and then you just kind of you dip it in there, man. It's like it's an epic mix.
Guac in the queso?
It's kind of like on top of it's kind of sitting on top of the beef, if that makes sense. But yeah, you can put it
throw up.
Or throw up. It's delicious. You're going to lose final takes. Is the voting available?
Yes, the voting's been up. I think you're going to drop to like sub 10 points. Like,
hold on, no. Let the chat, dude. Is guacamole inside queso something the chat thinks is disgusting? This is Cody being a total Yankee about this.
This queso.
People here love queso.
You like cold queso?
I think.
Do you like cold queso?
No.
Okay, well, I like hot queso, like warm, hot.
Yeah.
Put meat in it? Sure, you put meat in it. But then you put guac on top of it?
You put a big thing of guac on top. Yeah, it's delicious. What?
Mixing it in. You're mixing those three things together.
No, if somebody, dude, I would grab something that I have sitting right up here and threaten somebody to get out of my house if they ever took it and mixed it all up together. That isn't how you do it.
Well, then why are they together in the same bowl?
No, here's what you do. You take the queso and you get all the queso. Cody, just listen to me, okay? I'm trying to explain it. You get all the queso, right? And you put the big thing of beef right in the middle, right? And on top of the little island of beef that's kind of in there, you put the guacamole on top of that. And so you can kind of take the queso. It's like you take the queso on the sides, you get a little bit of beef on there, and then you can just kind of dip that in the guacamole that's on the top of it. If that makes sense. You don't go in. Yeah, I admit, if somebody came in and just mixed it all up into some mixy goo, I would tell them to get out of my house and never come back.
That's what I'm talking about. I was like,
that isn't how you do it. There's a process.
Okay.
It's delicious.
Okay. That sounds a little more understandable. Those three things, like, I just give me the meat and the queso, and you can.
Okay.
I'll vote for you. You just did meat and queso.
Well, all right, fine. Meat and queso, guac on the side, right? Hammer Heavily is saying I'm describing an L ramp. Yeah, it's exactly, dude. It's what's it called? It's like the Armstrong, or somebody said it. What is it called? Bob Armstrong. Yeah, it's the Bob Armstrong. Just delicious. Barb Armstrong, obviously a very, very, very Spanish name on that guy. El Rancho sounds good,
What in
dude.
the gaze is this?
A margarita from them sounds really, really good right now, especially before I got to go to the daddy daughter dance, which I'm going to need to get out of here and do pretty soon. So let's do another final takes pretty quick. So we already talked about Javion Osborne. Oh, how about this thing? Sukamel also said in the war room that when he puts out his first 2026 recruiting board, he's still going to have John Turntine as a 50-50 shot to land at Texas.
30-70.
I'm just like, Jason, dude, it feels like every time I ask you about him, you're like, I'm not sure. But now he's like, yeah, I think it's 50-50. If it's 50-50 to the Texas, that means the Texas is kind of the leader because there are other schools that he's, certainly in his top like 5 or whatever. 50-50 to Texas? I'm not sure I buy that.
I don't
Unless
know.
you know something I don't know. You guys in the chat could probably dig in on him and about that
I'm
whenever
closer to 30%, I feel like. Of a yes. Like I don't know about 50. 50 seems I feel like if it was 50, the feel around Felix Ojo would be similar around Turntine. I don't think it's quite that.
Yep. All right. We got to do we got to do this one. Jeff Banks is going hard after Gaston Grammatica, 2026 kicker punter, son of Martin Grammatica. Do you consider having a Grammatica at kicker the equivalent of having a Manning at quarterback?
No.
It would be nice, though, to have a Manning at quarterback and a Grammatica at kicker. You kidding me?
Isn't Grammatica like 5'2"?
Which one? Martin?
Martin, isn't he like 5?
Was Martin or Bill Grammatica the one that did the flip or something and then tore his ACL after he made a kick?
Bill.
That was Bill Grammatica. That family's nails.
Nails, is that 76% career kicking?
Is that all?
That's what Martin is, and Bill's 77%.
I think that's Cody.
Bill was 39% in the Arena League.
Cody, admittedly, I'm a fantasy sports analyst, but I don't do any kicker analysis at all. Is 77% not very good for NFL?
Justin, maybe it's not a good time to Google Justin Tucker. Justin Tucker is a career 89.1%. He's the all-time NFL leader.
All right. So it's nothing like having a Manning. Fair enough. All right. I'm gonna go to Prize Picks. Dude, I have a $20 Flex Friday today.
Oh,
you guys should go check out and see if you guys have a bigger Flex Friday than usual.
I didn't even look. I just put a $5 and was done with it.
What?
I said I didn't even look. I just put a $5 and was done with it.
Let's see promotions, flex on them. Yeah, up to $20. Build lineup. All right, let me share my screen here. Let's put together a Prize Picks deal for the Super Bowl here. Brady browser would like to record. Whoa, is that right?
All right. I want Xavier Worthy. Let's rip it off the top. I want Xavier Worthy 6.5 rushing yards. He's done it 4 of the last 5 games. He's had more than 10. The one game he didn't, he went negative. I think Worthy, they've been using him more and more. I'm going to take Worthy 6.5 rushing yards.
I like that one. We talked about that before. I'll put that. So I talked about the Kareem Hunt one yesterday. I'm adding that one in. I think he goes under 19.5 yards in his first 5 attempts. I'll put that in. Worthy, of course, is going to have at least one rush in this game. And when he gets it, he's going to go for more than 6.5 yards. So I do like that one. We talked about it earlier. I think that I liked I like Butker to go higher than 7.5 kicking points. Oh, I like Hollywood Brown. If he gets matched up versus Darius Slay, I think that could be something where he just gets off with a big one. That was up to 40. It was at 40.5 earlier, wasn't it, Cody?
For Hollywood, yeah. You need to have an Eagle, though. I thought you wanted Jake Elliott. Not
No.
Butker.
I don't want Jake Elliott because I worry about the tush push, and I worry about the fact that he's 1 for 8 over 50 yards this year.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's fair.
So Hollywood, I think, goes over the 41.5. I do have to pick an Eagle. Was there any Eagle stuff that I liked that I
layup,
talked about
son.
earlier?
Take the layup.
Just take the Saquon
Take the layup.
touchdown. Oh, no. What about Jahan Dotson?
Yeah.
Over 3.5
3.5
receiving yards.
receiving yards. And you got your Patrick Mahomes freebie too.
Oh, I'm not going to use that on a on this.
Flex.
Let's see. How many more do I have? Okay, so 2 more. I mean, should I just take
How broken is that number right there? 3 receiving yards for Dotson, or you can take 1.5 receptions.
But that's a devil. I'm gonna take the 3.5 receiving yards.
No, I know.
He's
I'm
gonna
saying
catch the football,
it's stupid,
right?
Laid out. Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Kelsey, the fantasy score.
What is it on Prize Picks? 14.
It's 15. I'm still taking it. And then, how much does this Barkley touchdown even really get me? Well, go maybe hop on with all the donks.
How much you at right now? 10x.
I'm sitting at 10x right now. That makes it 19x.
Hey, layup, double up.
Yeah.
Cash money.
Saquon to score a touchdown. All right, so here's what I went with. Kareem Hunt, over 19.5 rushing yards in his first 5 attempts.
Less than.
Xavier Worthy, higher than 6.5 rushing yards. Hollywood Brown, higher than 41.5 receiving yards. Sean Dotson, higher than 3.5 receiving yards. Travis Kelce, higher than 15 fantasy points. And Saquon Barkley to score a rushing or receiving touchdown. I'm going to use my Flex Friday protected play here. I'm going to put in $20 to win $380.
Let's pay for that flight to Indy, baby.
Pay for that flight to Indy, and hopefully get that up to about a G in there to just make about 39x on whenever we get to place bets on the easiest. I can't wait until we get to the combine and we can tell you guys what plays to make on the 40 times for these.
We're gonna have an entire show on 40-yard dash times on Pride
because we're talking about generational wealth. It's just gosh. All right. So successfully submitted lineup. All right. Now you can email us, fwfemails@gmail.com. You can find us on X at Cody Carpentier, at Alex Dunlap NFL. You can find us here every night, usually from 6 to 7 p.m. East, 6 to 7 p.m. Central. I'm having to get done early tonight. I have daddy-daughter dance where I'm going to have to stand around with a bunch of dudes that I don't know. When my daughter my daughter doesn't even these daughters don't even want to dance with their dads. They go up there and eat Chick-fil-A and they go run around in the gym and they dance together. And so dads just stand around. My bro Mo from down the street is not going to go because they're doing a daddy-daughter date instead. I don't know. I told him that's a good idea. I wish I could talk my daughter into it, but she wants to go to the dance. So you have to go and find some friends or jeez, probably just sit in the corner with my phone.
What you can do, you can use those poncho pockets and you can fill up a little nip and you can put it in your poncho pocket.
Oh, I'm not gonna be the dad that gets kicked out of there for any kind of booze. Gosh, are you kidding me? That's the kind of thing that could ruin your kid's life forever. But listen, look, we love you guys. We want to mention too, if you're interested in sponsoring the show, Sunny Nelson. Some of you have actually reached out to her, and we do appreciate that. You can email her sunnynelson@orangebloods.com or call her 512-924-5038. Again. Thank you guys so much for continuing to help the show grow. It's growing a ton. I can't believe it still is, even after the season's over. But we're gonna keep at it, man. You got if you guys keep coming to watch, we're gonna keep doing it. And I think people want to hear about football. You know, it's like people miss football, and we're here to talk about it. Whether it's college football, SEC recruiting, NFL draft, fantasy, dynasty. Pick'em games, all the rest of it, man. We're going to be here for you. So thank you all so much for being here. Have a great weekend. Go do something awesome this weekend, all right? And enjoy the Super Bowl. We love you guys. God bless you. God bless your families. For Cody, I'm Alex. We're done.